Hello, everybody. So tonight is hello everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. Tonight is Tuesday, July 23rd. So we're here for another night of Neat News. Um, as always, if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I will try to answer the questions to the best of my abilities. Um, we're gonna of course give it a few minutes to give people a chance to come in before we get started. Or maybe in about another minute and a half or so, I'll talk about what's on tap for tonight. So hopefully everybody's having a good week thus far. I know we're still early on. Of course, this Friday here on the Mikestand, of course, going through we'll be going through comics that went on sale from Centaur publication. Centaur. I have Metal with me on that show. So, anyways, as always, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, let's see now. To a little bit more here. Once we hit the 3 minute mark, then I'll talk about what's on tap for tonight. Um, and then let's see, 2.5 minutes now. Let's see. On Moon Mesa, where the cowboys roam, everyone wanna live by the code of the West. On Moon Mesa. All right. So with that, all right. So let's go ahead and talk about what's on tap for tonight. So tonight, of course, I got a couple articles from Bleeding Fool. We're going to go ahead and so one of the articles is coming out of Japan. Udon Entertainment is going to be doing a manga biography of Peanuts creator Charles Schultz, and also the tandem of Blake North Blake Northcutt. Let me see if I read that right. Yeah, Blake Northcutt and Anna Morozova are teaming up to helm Dynamite's new Barbarella series. So those are the two articles we're going to talk about tonight. Of course, we'll be doing the wrestling wrap up, talking a little bit about what happened on last night's Raw, as they continue to prepare for WrestleMania, as they prepare to leave for Japan this weekend, as this Thursday they'll be on a Japanese tour this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, thus having to record 2 episodes of SmackDown last week instead of one. And we'll also talk a little bit about what's coming up on AEW tomorrow night. AEW's Dynamite tomorrow night will be their Blood and Guts pay-per-view. They continue to prepare for their the All-In event at Wembley Stadium at the end of next month in August, a month from now. So, with all that being said, let me just do one more quick little thing here. Alrighty then. So with all that being said, why don't we go ahead and get started with the articles then. Okay, so let's get into this. First off, first article we're going to look at here. So, manga biography of Peanuts creator Charles Schulz announced. Article by Avi Green, published back on July 21st, which of course was this past Sunday. So, here we go. Let's go ahead and see what's up here. Manga biographies, Charles M. Schulz, creator Snoopy and Peanuts. All right, so Otaku Study announced that Udon Entertainment published a manga biography of the famous Peanuts cartoonist. And this, of course, now going to the, as he's referencing the article here. Udon Entertainment has announced the upcoming launch of a new series, Manga Biographies, which will bring the lives of some of history's most interesting and influential individuals to the medium of Japanese manga. The series will debut with manga biographies Charles Schulz. So Charles Schulz is apparently just the beginning. He's the first one that they're doing, focusing on the life of the renowned creator of the Peanuts comic strip. Manga biographies Charles Schulz is pitched as a 168-page manga graphic novel written and illustrated by Yuzuru Kuki. This authorized biography seeks to cover Schultz's life from his early years in Minnesota and his love of drawing to his time in the Army and his rise to fame as a beloved cartoonist. The manga aims to present Schultz's story in a clear and welcoming style, suitable for both young and old readers, and touch upon significant historical events that influenced Schultz's life and highlights how Peanuts impacted those events. Now, many of us, of course, have probably seen a number of the, and this apparently was a pretty short article, but it wasn't really anything controversial in this article, anyways. Just a simple announcement. They've certainly developed a clever way of telling the life of a famous figure from outside Japan. The publisher of Street Fighter comics has definitely got a good idea here. All right, so that's done. That's done now, so all right, so let's go ahead and let's go on and get ready to move on to the next next article. That one went kind of quick. I might try to fish around, see if there's anything, maybe at least one more article here since all right, yeah, we just 9 minutes in, we're already done with half of the articles that I was going to do. So let's look at this one now. So Blake Northcutt and Anna Morozova helm Dynamite's new Barbarella series. Article by Chris Braley, published this past Sunday, the 21st. So there she is, Barbarella. From, I believe it's Dynamite. All right, so let's take a look at this. The scintillating siren of the spaceways is back as Barbarella saunters her way into new comic book adventures this October from a talented creative pairing of writer Blake Northcutt and artist Anna Morozova. Announced for San Diego Comic-Con, this series will precede an upcoming blockbuster film in development. The series finds Barb's fresh off from saving the universe again in parentheses, and cherishing a little rest and relaxation with her unique alien pet companion Vix. This is Barbarella, after all. After all though, and she's about to discover that not all pleasure planets are created equal. In fact, some are downright unreal. Hmm. I'm just trying to. All right. So, as always, guys, if you haven't already, of course, you can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get more friendly people in here to engage. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. There's a very interesting scenario there. All right, so meanwhile, all the way across the galaxy, there is something off about Earth's oldest and most venerable colony. Altogether, Barbarella's uniquely well rounded skills will be in dire need across the cosmos, and she's sure to run into all manner of unscrupulous figures along the way. Hmm. So hello, Dotard Elfist, Juke, Duke, Dookie disc jockeys. All right, whatever that means. What's the oldest DC comic from 19? Well, DC. Okay, there is no comic from DC in 1926 because they weren't around yet. They wouldn't be around for another 9 years. The first ever DC comic was actually New Fun back in 1935. I believe it was might have been November of. I'm trying to remember if it was February or November of that year, but it was basically 1935 when New Fun, Volume One, Number One, came into existence. So that's the oldest DC comic right there. DC was not around in 1926. So. Writer Blake Northcutt takes the helm in guiding the escapades of one of the most historic comics historic comics heroines, following her work on titles like Catwoman, Vampirella, Fathom, and her own creations in comics and prose. Her dance partner for this ball of a project is rising artist Anna Morakova, a phenom with a smooth, effortless style, perfect for gliding Barbarella across the panels. She's contributed to 2000 AD, including stories featuring Judge Dredd, but this will be her first major spotlight for many American readers. It's fitting for her to bring another classic European comics character, comics character for her breakout. And there's I guess that's supposed to be Blake and Anna right there. Some nice looking young ladies, huh? Hey, Rick. Thanks for popping in. As always, if you guys haven't already, you guys can help me out by liking and sharing the stream to see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Anyways, getting back to the article here. Okay, quote. There are only a handful of sci-fi fantasy characters who have endured for decades, and Barbarella is right at the top of the list, alongside Leia, Ripley, and Sarah Connor, unquote, said writer Blake Northcutt. Of course, Leia from I believe she's talking about Princess Leia from from Star Wars. Ripley, probably from Ripley's Believe It or Not, and Sarah Connor from Terminator. Quote, telling one of her stories is the opportunity of a lifetime. How could I say no to that? Unquote. In the new tales from Northcutt and Morozova, Barbarella will visit a number of new planets that have never been explored before. She's going to be getting up to more planet hopping than readers have ever seen in previous adventures, and maybe even engaging, as it were, with some of the locals, right? Because some Ripley from Aliens, all right. Um, and we saw in the earlier panel, earlier in the article here. Let's see. Along the way, she will meet both new characters as well as returning favorites for diehard fans, especially those familiar with the classic film and the recently introduced Vix. I don't know if that's from the film. Oh, wait, no, that's from the cover. Blake Northcutt and Dynamite and Anna Morakova. On that note, a major emphasis for Northcutt in approaching the character is in honoring the character's original creator and those who preceded her, and respecting the fans. While she has her own inventive style, she sought out to mirror some of the tone of the 1960s original comics by Jean-Claude Forest and the film, instilling the stories with funny, sexy, and wild elements, but balancing it all to not be over the top and dismissive of real stake. So I'm hoping that she's not. It sounds like she's not wokeifying this, and that sounds pretty good. Morozova's slick interior artwork is topped off with a choice of 4 covers for fans. Joseph Michael Linsner, Annie Wu, and Richard Pace all contribute, and cosplayer Rachel Holton portrays a beloved character as well. Could Rachel Holton, could that be who's on the cover there? All right, so let's see what time it is now. Let's see, 1843. So maybe let me take a quick peek around. See if maybe there is another article we can do. I just hope that if I do pick another article to go through, that it won't be like, whereas the first article here that we did was like real short. The other one's not gonna. One that I picked next is gonna be like super long. Let me see if it is. Can we just? I'm just going through this. Whoa! Oh, this is a bit of a hot story. Let's look at this one. This one seems to be a bit hot. In the realm of an Avi. This is an Avi article. What's going on here. Top animator for Cartoon Network arrested for possession of child sex abuse content. Oh boy. Now, Cartoon Network's they've been having some issues lately with some of this, unfortunately. Of course, basically where they ended up forcing the creator of Rick and Morty to step aside. Um, all right, so it looks like another man working in the animation industry has been jailed for serious offenses. According to USA Today, a Cartoon Network and Disney animation producer was recently arrested on child porn charges, reports Breitbart News. This coming from the USA Today article, of course. Let's see what they have to say here. A Cartoon Network series creator has been arrested on child pornography charges. Kyle Carrozza, an animator who created the television series Mighty Magiswords, and worked on multiple Cartoon Network, Disney, PBS Kids, shows, was arrested in Burbank, California on June 20th on 2 child pornography possession charges, according to Burbank Police Department arrest records. Oh boy. After a review of Carrozza's case, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office filed one count of possession of over 600 images of child pornography, the department said. Carrozza, 45, has worked as a storyboard artist and animator on several cartoons, including Adventure Time, the 2020 Animaniacs reboot, Doc McStuffins, parentheses, and its miniseries spin-off, The Doc Files, parentheses, Fish Hooks, Fanboy and Chum Chum, Danger Rangers, and Teen Titans Go. These are some series that are currently running right now. He also worked as an animator on the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. Like Nickelodeon could use even more damage, another damaging story, considering the stuff that's been coming out about Dan Hennessy of late as well. Well, he sure has tarnished plenty of children's cartoons with his evil deeds. How many more of these perverts will turn up in animation comics media? I'd feared several years ago crimes like these would turn up increasingly, and this scandal is really dealing a crippling blow to the industry they may never recover from. Let's hope Carrozza gets a long prison sentence for what he's done. Well, anyways, yeah, that's not gonna look too good, especially again. Like and it said he'd done some work for Nickelodeon too, which doesn't help them out much, because with the Dan Hennessy stuff going on, with a lot of the, act voice, a lot of the um, former child actresses who've come out and claimed some of the abusive behavior he's done. So, all right. So let's see. Final episode Star Wars. Yeah, the All right, so let's see, where are we at now on time? Had some pretty quick stuff going on here. Let's see, 25 minutes in. I'll just kind of scan through the. Guess I'll scan through the news section abounding in the comics. See if there's any news and opinions here. See if there's anything that we haven't already covered in the other two. And if not, we'll probably just. All right. All right. Yeah. Let me see. Well, let's see. What do we have here? Yeah. Anyways, guys, if anything here grabs your attention or anything comes to mind, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. I'm gonna go over to Bounding into Comics now, see if we can find a story to put in a little time here before we there's anything new that came up here. Maybe there are a couple here that grabbed my attention, but didn't know if let's see. Well, okay, so we'll do this story from Spencer McCooley. See how long that takes us. Again, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. And if you can, of course, like and share, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage, that'd be appreciated. So, with all that being said, let's see. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto crossover series on the way from IDW will feature race swapped April O'Neil. Of course, that was getting some pretty controversial. So, on one hand, whoa, who would have ever, I guess, thought an official Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover with Naruto would ever see publication? On the other hand, another day, another instance of a race swapped April O'Neil. Written by Caleb Goliner of the Team Sonic Racing one shot, with line work by Henry Presetia of Kamen Rider 01 Volume 1 and Power Girl Volume 2, colors by Raul Angulo of NYX Volume 2, and lettering by Ed Dukeshire of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Dukeshire having worked on a previous crossover for Teenage Mutant. The crossover was first revealed to the public courtesy of a leak of its cover art provided by Russian Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan forum Turtle Power, and later confirmed as real by series cover artist Jorge Jimenez, who's of course worked on Batman Volume 3, Justice League Volume 4, and Sons Volume 1. Quote, yeah, wrote Jimenez on his personal Instagram, alongside high definition version of its cover for the book's first issue. Quote, that's real Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto. Anyone who knows me knows that Naruto is a series that I read as an adult, and it gave me back my enthusiasm for drawing. All right. So I put everything aside and started fighting for my dream. The Ninja Turtles are directly some of the first strokes I drew as a 3 or 4-year-old child. So yes, I had to be involved in this project in some way, and I will be doing the main covers and being the happiest person in the world for it. Unquote. Oh, nice to hear that. All right. In his own separate statement given to IGN, Goldliner beamed, quote, I'm stoked and humbled to get to work with the coolest talent in comics and manga. To introduce the ninja created by my heroes in a massive mutagen and chakra fueled adventure for fans everywhere. Um, what else can you call it but an honor? Let's party, unquote. Per a synopsis of the series provided by publishers IDW and Viz Entertainment, the East West Ninja team up will see the Turtles and Team 7 cross paths at courtesy of a clandestine meeting between April O'Neil and the fifth Hokage, Tsunade. That sounds like a very interesting meeting to eavesdrop on. It's the coolest ninja matchup you could ever have dreamed of had you dared, um, exclaims the synopsis. Quote, the heroes in a half shell meet the host of the Nine-Tails Fox. In the crossover, everyone will be talking about. Yeah, quite an interesting tidbit. You got the turtles there. You got Sasuke, Naruto actually dressing up as a turtle. It would appear. Oh no, there's Naruto down there. That must be Michelangelo then. I just saw some of the orange and thought maybe it might have been Naruto, but it's actually Michelangelo now that I think about it. Anyways, quote, when teenage reporter April O'Neil had a clandestine meeting with Tsunade, the leader of the Hidden Leaf Village, it garners the attention of Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi. Quote, it teases, quote, they aren't the only ones who are wondering what the two women were discussing, though. The sinister Foot Clan have their own interest in April's visit, as they think she might hold the valuable information on mutation research being conducted by scientist Baxter Stockman. With April caught between the forces of the Hidden Leaf Village and the Foot Clan, it can't be long before the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show up to lend her a hand, unquote. Notably, given Naruto's pre-time skip appearance on Jimenez's cover and Tsunade's confirmed role as the leader of the Hidden Leaf Village, it appears that the events of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto will take place sometime near the start of the orange-clad ninja's heroic career. That must be a Splinter there. Got Raphael, Michelangelo. Alongside the series' official confirmation, IDW also provided a number of character design sheets revealing the Hidden Leaf Village-inspired outfits set to be worn by Michelangelo, Raphael, Master Splinter, and the aforementioned April. Notably, in addition to revealing the three anthropomorphic animals will be covering their faces with animal-style masks while moving about the village, a la Naruto's Anbu covert ops team. The preview artwork also confirmed that the series will yet again be race swapping April from white to black. And there she is right there. Far from the first time the daring reporter was hit with the quote-unquote modern audience's treatment. April was also the subject of this specific change. In both the 2018 animated series Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the 2023 CGI film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Man. Not only in the 2023 was she race swap, but she also went through a body image change too. You know, so that kind of garnered some heat, as it were. At present, the first issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Naruto, featuring covers from both Jimenez and Presetia, is set to emerge from the shadows on November 13th. So there you go. All right, so let me see what time it is right now. Let's see, 35 minutes. So yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and move on to the wrestling wrap up here. Talk a little bit about, of course, last night's Raw, as it was the last show, I believe, in the States before heading out for their Japanese trip this weekend. Actually, no, that might not be true, because I think tonight's NXT show will also be going on. So we'll see what WWE was doing last night as they prepare to head to the Far East on their Super Summer Showdown tour in Japan this week. They hit Osaka on Thursday, then Friday and Saturday Tokyo. Let's see. Also, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on tomorrow night's Dynamite. So with that, let me go ahead and get that all ready here. All right, so last night's Monday Night Raw, results from last night's Raw. The opening match saw Braun Breaker defeat Ilya Dragunov in a number one contenders match to determine who would be the next challenger to Sami Zayn's Intercontinental title. I would imagine this match is possibly being set up for not this weekend, but next weekend at SummerSlam. So Braun Breaker has become the number one contender by defeating Ilya Dragunov. The next match was a women's match in which Sonya Deville, with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark in her corner, defeating Lyra Valkyria, who had former women's World Tag Team Champions Kaden Carter and Katana Chance in her corner. The Final Testament trio of Karrion Kross and Akam and Razor, the authors of Pain, with Paul Ellering and Scarlett in their corner, defeated the team of Alpha Academy of Akira Tozawa and Otis, and Xavier Wood, Maxine Dupree in their corner. Zelina Vega got a win over Zoe Stark, who had Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville in her corner. And then in the main event, in a non-title tag team match, the current WWE World Tag Team Champions Finn Balor and JD McDonough, representing the Judgment Day faction, with Carlito and Dominic Mysterio in the ring, defeating the Yeet Man Jey Uso and Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. So that's what happened on tonight's on last night's Raw. Happening on tonight's NXT show. Let me see if I can find that. All right, on tonight's NXT show, coming to everybody from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Eddie Thorpe will be taking on Lexis King. Lexis King, of course, the son of Brian Pillman. Oro Mensah takes on Ashante Adonis. And in a no disqualification match, Josh Briggs will be taking on Brooks Jensen. So that's on tonight's NXT. Now let's talk a little bit about what's coming up on tomorrow night's AEW Dynamite. On tomorrow night's Dynamite, as of course AEW All Elite Wrestling still building up towards next month's All In pay-per-view at All In pay-per-view. So on tomorrow night's Dynamite, a Blood and Guts event coming from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. The main event will see the Blood and Guts match itself, in which Team Elite of World Tag Team Champions the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, teaming with AEW Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada, TNT Champion Jack Perry, and former AEW World Champion Adam Page. On Team AEW of AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland, Ring of Honor World Champion Mark Briscoe, as this will be a match before his upcoming title defense against Roderick Strong on this Friday's Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. Three-time former TNT champion Darby Allin and former AEW World Tag Team Champions Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, the Acclaimed. You will also have on the show Chris Jericho defending the FTW title against Minoru Suzuki. Mariah May will be in action, coming off of her betrayal of Timeless Toni Storm, as she will be introducing her new gimmick, the Glamorous One. And in a match that was set up this past weekend, I believe on Collision, in a battle of two former AEW Women's World Champions as well as two former rivals, Dr. Britt Baker will see her first in-ring action since her return, taking on her former rival Hikaru Shida. So as Baker looks to continue to build momentum as she prepares to challenge Mercedes Moné for the TNT title. So that's all what's going down on tomorrow night's. So with that, I think we will start to wind down a bit here as the 43-minute mark coming up on. So with today being Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in Meets history. History! Okay. So first off, we're going to head back 90 years ago. And on this date, back in 1934, which was 90 years ago on this date, Walter Lance's Chris Columbus Jr. premiered in movie theaters on this date back in 1934 with an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoon, or animated short. It is loosely based on the historic events leading to Christopher Columbus sailing to the lands that were later named America. It is also among the few cartoons where Oswald plays a character other than himself. So, of course, animated by Fred Avery, Jack Carr, Ray Abrams. So on this date, 90 years ago today, as distributed by Universal Pictures, the Walter Lance animated short Chris Columbus Jr. premiered in theaters on this date back in 1934, 90 years ago today. Moving ahead 50 years to 1984, one of the events that you could argue was one of the events that led to the major break for professional wrestling, as WWF, the World Wrestling Federation's the Brawl to End It All event happened in, co-produced by MTV, happened from Madison Square Garden. The main event of the show saw Wendy Richter with Cyndi Lauper in a corner defeat the Fabulous Moolah with Captain Lou Albano in her corner to win the WWF Women's Championship. You could argue that this event was the event that led to the whole rock and wrestling scene. That was the event that brought the professional wrestling into the mainstream. Antonio Inoki wrestled twice this night as he defended the WWF Martial Arts Championship against Charlie Fulton, which he retained, and then later on in the night won a Battle Royal. Hulk Hogan successfully retained the WWF Championship over Greg Valentine, cornered by Captain Lou Albano. Tito Santana went to a time limit, in a defense of the Intercontinental Championship. Tito Santana went to a time limit draw with Cowboy Bob Orton. Former World Heavyweight Champion Bob Backlund defeated Butcher Vachon. In a match for the WWF World Tag Team Championships, the North-South connection of Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch retained the titles over Sergeant Slaughter and Terry Daniels, and then the show opened up with Paul Orndorff beating Chief Jay Strongbow. That happened 40 years ago in 1984. The Brawl to End It All, the event that really brought professional wrestling into the mainstream. Moving on to 2003. On this date in 2003, which of course was 21 years ago today. On this date, 21 years ago today, the 200th issue of Archie's Digest magazine went on sale on this date 21 years ago today, back in 2003. It sold for $2.39 for the 96 pages. So on this date, 21 years ago today, the 200th issue of Archie's Digest magazine went on sale on this date back in 2003. And finally, 5 years ago today, as on this date in 2019, in actually the world, well, animation/anime, Canadian voice actor Gabe Koth passed away at the age of 46 after suffering a heart attack while riding his motorcycle. Of course, he would some of his most notable roles, including providing the English voices for Nicole Amefi in Gundam Seed, as well as Goten in the Ocean dub of Dragon Ball Z. He also provided the voice of Orko and Mechaneck in the 2002 He-Man and the Masters of the Universe series. So on this date, in 5 years ago today, Canadian voice actor Gabe Koth passed away at the age of 46. So with that, I thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We will be we'll be back here tomorrow with more Niche News. And of course, this Friday I will have the Metal from the Vomitorium on with me to co-host, as we will be looking back. We'll be continuing our look back to March of 1940. As we'll be looking at comics that went on sale in there. We'll be focusing in on Centaur, reading from such amazing. We'll be reading such features as Amazing Man, maybe Phantom of the Fair, or Speed Centaur, Dean Denton, the Masked Marvel. We'll see. So with that, I thank everybody for being here. Hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.